Hello, and thank you for tuning into The Ground Sound. My name is Ben.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Josh.
And we have so much, once again, to talk to you all about.
So much.
Everything from over to
And
under the ground.
The underground.
That's got to be written somewhere next time we do this thing.
Ground sound.
Yeah. Shout out to Jeremiah Red. That's their song that does our intro. It's a harmonica player. But however, it sounds like a flute at one moment.
It does.
It does.
totally
Yeah.
does.
They go straight flute. So shout out to those guys for letting us use that.
Thanks, J-Red.
Good men.
Also, speaking of thank yous, once again, we have been unofficially sponsored by Ballast Point. Unofficially because we went out and bought these beers again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should we clink?
Yeah, let's clink.
Let's cheers.
Cheers, guys.
To the second episode.
Cheers.
So we splash it on our computers.
All right.
Oh, that's good.
What do we got today, guys?
I'm drinking the Fathom IPL. It's an Imperial Pale Lager. Is that what that is?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
And it's delicious.
yeah,
It is
it's
good.
like a
I liked
hoppy
it.
lager.
It's a hobby lager.
I've had it before, and I really liked it.
Yeah, it's tasty.
It's like an IPA, but without the body.
Right.
That's what it's.
Yeah,
That's
it feels like it's much lighter. Yeah.
It's like the land shark version of an IPA.
Yes.
Land shark.
Yeah, we get it. And I'm drinking. Well, me and Derek are both drinking it's called the Hoppy Red, and it's from their home brew series. What does that mean? Apparently, they went and they talk about their roots in brewing beer, and then they made one, and you can see this with the recipe on the bottle. You can't actually see it,
So
but
you can make it at home too.
Right, we'll post a clip of it, and they're honoring those who make beer by brewing it themselves.
That's such a
Yeah.
cool concept, man. It's
a really
right
cool
there.
concept.
Look at that.
Yeah. So shout out to Ballast Point.
We love you.
We'll keep buying your beer
Until we get it for free.
till we get it for free.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a
That
plan.
does sound like a plan. All right, guys, we're going to get into it. As usual, we have our Discovery segment. I'll be leading it off here. Today,
What's this week's Discovery,
Well,
Ben?
let me tell you about it. Today, we're talking about the band Flying Sparks.
Yeah.
We'll get into a little more details. We're looking at an indie kind of pop outfit. I think it's a 4-piece. Really, really great music. I'll let you guys kind of listen to it for yourself. We'll talk about it in a second.
What's the name of the song you're gonna play?
This song is called Till the Song is Done.
Ooh.
Time froze when you hit the room. Housed in dress and that cheap perfume. Such a stunning loose design, stale nicotine and the devil's as you knew. Who knew? It's the science being stupid and young. But it's a mission, we must get it done. Oh my, there was such a mess, and no, I'd never move like this. Love, lay your head upon my faithless arms. Just another minute till the song is done. We can watch a TV go on North Tehran. Just another minute till the song is done. Running through the streets until we're gone. Just another minute till the song is done.
Yeah, that was great. Jeez, that's
I
great.
feel like we should hit the cheers button right now.
Yeah,
that
we
was
should.
a
Let's
great
do that.
song.
Let's do that. Lions.
Thank you, Flying Sparks, for making great music.
super mellow song.
Yeah,
Just-
it's got swagger.
Yes.
You know, like if
So
you're walking
much.
down the street, like flipping a coin,
Yeah, just
you know,
strutting,
in your
just
pocket.
strutting.
Yeah.
Checking your pocket watch.
Right.
you know?
You're doing like coy
Zoot
things
suit.
like smacking people like on the behind.
And the, what?
Well, I don't know about that, dude.
Oh,
Who does that?
just me.
Today you guys
Nobody
learned something
else.
about Ben.
Yeah, they're all of age. No, but it's so good.
just-
It's got a feel, it's got a rhythm, it's got a movement. It's just very minimalist band, but they just execute a really strong sound using very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Very basic stuff.
And the guitar solo was, I mean, it didn't seem like a guitar solo at first
Yeah.
because it's very
Yeah.
like chordal based, but then he just, he brings it back and
Yeah.
that's a guitar solo.
It is a
Yeah.
guitar solo. And I think one of my favorite things about him, and this is a kind of a staple for him, the bassist. He's not doing too much.
Boom,
Yeah.
dum, dum, dum.
Yeah. And in the verses, he hits one note, lets it ride.
Yeah.
Well, same with the
Waits,
drummer,
do another
actually.
thing.
I
Yeah.
guess you could say the rhythm section is very,
Yeah.
they're very simple, but they're spot on.
Yeah.
You know, they're just together.
Very appropriate.
Yes.
It's the mark of a good rhythm section. They know when not to play and
Yeah.
when to play.
I
And they
don't-
just nailed it, man.
I haven't reached that yet. I'm still trying to do as many drum fills
drum
as I
solo
can.
for 3 minutes?
Okay, I'm in. Come in.
Yeah.
But and then the vocal is unbelievable, dude. They're like
Yeah.
butter. It's just
Yeah.
up and down.
Yeah.
I
They
can't
didn't
sing.
sound
I'm sorry.
quite like that, but yeah, they were good.
Yeah, it's Michael Roses. He's actually not a lot of people know, but he's been in some pretty big groups back in his day. Like before this, he was in a band called Satisfaction, which
Oh,
Yeah.
they were good.
really
They were
stinking
really good.
I think, as far as I know, they only had 2 like 5-song EPs, but they were just phenomenal group. They opened for Matt Costa, which is where me and my buddy saw him. Matt Costa, another big local guy. I'm sure you've heard some of his music before. Look him up; he's good. But they opened for him and immediately just jaw drop, like these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Really great.
So what happened to them?
They fell off the planet.
Didn't
and-
they become a tribute band of some sort, right?
Yeah, I don't know that as a fact. There was a group called Satisfaction that was
Like a
going
Rolling
around.
Stones tribute band?
and was a Rolling Stones tribute band. And I thought I saw the lead singer's face on like a Billboard promotion or like some flyer that was handed out to me.
Maybe they just Googled Satisfaction Band and then
Yeah.
posted that image.
Yeah,
with-
exactly.
But it's a totally different band.
Yeah. No, I can neither deny nor confirm that, but I that is a rumor that is around in my head constantly. But
A rumor in my head.
in my own world.
A one-man rumor.
Yeah. All my personalities are a little taken aback by it. But besides that, he was also in a group, and I believe it was called Smiles. We'll have to get fact checked on that. But from what people tell me is that they were on the verge of doing some big thing and some big record deal, and it didn't come through. So in any case, I think each project is just a little bit more stepped in a, for lack of a better word, a mature direction. I think Flying Sparks is one of the smartest things that he's done in terms of music production and what he's produced. I say him because I think he's one of the main songwriters of the group.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to bring this up, but going back to the Satisfaction,
Yeah.
I can definitely tell just like his guitar work from that project carried over into Flying Sparks.
Yeah.
A lot of the riffs that he did, like the super dark and heavy riffs that he had,
Right.
just kind of coming over. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I wish they would get back together. But I mean,
Yeah,
Flying
yeah,
Sparks,
yeah,
it's basically
yeah.
the same band, though, isn't it?
Pretty much is the same. It's minus, I think, one guy, which was an extra guitarist, I believe. These guys, what did I say before? I think I said a 5-piece. They play as a 4. It's a keyboardist, it's a bassist, a drummer, and a guitarist.
That's all you need.
Who sings.
That's all you need.
And they
That's
pull
all
it off really
yep,
well.
Yep. We're going to get into another song by them. Check out Satisfaction, too. Because they actually play a couple of the old Satisfaction songs at live shows. Forgot which ones, but check them out. They're really great. Notables are,
Me Oh My.
yeah, Oh My Oh Me. What's another good one? We always sang it back in
You're
the day.
always
It's
wrong when
hard.
you're, it's hard to admit you're wrong when you're right.
Especially when you're right.
Especially when you're right.
Exactly. Really great stuff, guys. I've heard people compare them to the Beatles. I think I've even done it on a few occasions. There is some influences there. They're like, oh, that is very harmony, melody based, and really, really good stuff. This next song we're going to play is called... what is it?
Don't
Keep It Close to Your Heart.
Yes.
This is just a clip. Keep in mind.
Yep. Here we go. This is Don't Keep It Close to Your Heart.
Don't keep it close to your heart. Oh no. Don't keep it close to your heart. Ooh, if you wanna make them hold the gates away, let it pull. You mustn't break it. Don't keep it close to your heart. We passed the towers, headed back from the country, gazing out the window, hammering and banging away. Bells clamor and the wind.
Yeah. Just more of that.
Yeah. That
Great.
bassist is really kind of like showing his skill right there. Just all over, kind of like walking it through, and then at the end he's,
Yeah.
Did some slides.
Yeah,
I heard.
yeah.
That's cool.
Again.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
tell he's got some skill.
Yeah, if
Smooth
I were
stuff.
in a heist, like a uniformed one, I'm talking like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Not like I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
in guns blazing,
Not like
very
Tower heist.
right.
Planned out.
This is the kind of music I would listen to. Just very
To get pumped up?
Yeah, pumped up. Walking up.
Yeah, it's
looking
what
good
everyone's
with my-
listening to when they're
Right.
driving in the van heading to the bank.
Yeah. My bell bottoms are on. 'Cause
Oh,
in the
yeah.
70s. Yeah. No,
That might be a little too mellow for me to get hyped up, man.
Well, you can get.
Get some mud vein
Skrillex
going
in
or
there.
something.
Right. Anyway, that was Flying Sparks. Check them out, guys. They're on Facebook. We'll be posting the links and everything else. They do have an EP that's out, as we mentioned. Go see a show. Closest thing to a show I think they've done it recently is Michael has played a couple of acoustic sets all over from Orange County to, I believe, Long Beach. But check them out. Really, really good 4-piece. Great music.
Yeah, they're definitely worth the time. I've seen them twice. One for the Orange County Music Awards showcase, and then once at the Constellation Room. I just remember being pretty blown away by them.
Yep.
Very solid live.
Yeah. Actually, one more notable thing before we move on from them. The last band I was in, we opened for... I'm sorry, we closed the night, if you want to call it. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. But we closed the night. The band who played before us was Flying Sparks, and that was, I believe, their first show.
As
Oh.
Flying Sparks, yeah.
So our
Little history there.
last show was their first show.
Boom.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? That was
It's
our last
like
show.
one end leads to one beginning.
Right. And
Death
it takes...
leads to life.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's the circle of life right
Exactly.
there.
I just like that. It's kind of a fun
Wow,
little
I
story
never
to
thought of
tell.
it like
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, kind of cool, huh? We're going to keep moving. Now, last week we journeyed to the majestic realm of San Diego.
San Diego, I believe it's pronounced.
Right. And it was... Yeah, we traveled to the majestic realm of San Diego.
I think we're going to head north this time around.
Yep.
Not too far north,
Not
though.
too far north. We're going to LA.
About 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes north of here, LA.
We're going to L.A. County area. And
Yep.
today we're looking at a band called The Lonely Wild.
Yeah, we'll start branching out a little further. We're just kind of keeping it local right now.
Yep, yes, we are. We don't want to do our homework too much.
We're going with what we know right now.
Right, exactly. But yeah, these guys are called Lonely Wild. I'd say it's a mix between folk and indie, and definitely some rock
Oh,
influences
it's absolutely
too.
rock.
Yeah.
They got 4 people who sing in the band. They play as a 5-piece. One of the singers is a girl
And plays trumpet.
and
right?
plays trumpet.
Yeah.
And I think all 3 of the front.
Oh, and bass. She
Yeah,
plays bass.
she plays bass.
They switch around. It's
Right.
crazy.
2
It's
trumpet
nuts.
players too. Now you don't, yeah, it's tough to find
completely
one guy
forgot
who
about
plays
that.
it. Yeah, really, really great.
Wow.
These guys are called The Lonely Wild. This song is called Buried in the Murder. I'm just gonna let it speak for itself.
Yes.
Here we go.
I'm fed with livestock, grain, grasses, and grain that are bought in a city from another a city that I cannot name. I'll meet you for dinner, and we'll speak the same. What choice have we got but kiss women who love us and we love the same? These men that we're making, these men we've become, who speak with conviction, we can't find the answers when the day is done. We'll side with the same truth when we've mourned long enough. Will we stand up and see eye to eye once the wild has torn straight through our guards? We all when I talk like a liar, when I sold all my dreams, when I stand tall like a monument, that's when you know that I'll never wash clean. Some wait for the whisper, some wait for God, but it's never gonna be how you want it to be. So boy, just play along. 'Cause there's truth buried in the murder, and then I wanna know, so I can still look at myself in the mirror and say, hell, you know damn well my way to go.
Oh man, so good.
My
So
goodness.
good.
Jeez.
They take dynamics to the next level.
Yeah.
They start off at nothing,
Yep.
almost a whisper, and get huge.
Yeah.
And then they ended with a whisper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such an excellent build. You know, they don't do too much in the build department. The first two verses.
Yeah, you have to wait for it.
Yeah, you do have to wait
for it.
but you know there's something coming, something ominous in the fog that you see
Yeah.
that is the glory.
But when it hits, dude, you're like, what?
Yeah.
I remember when we saw them first live, it was a
Yeah.
Secret Chief Secret Chief show at the Constellation Room. I guess he had booked them because they're from LA, and he doesn't typically. Bill Bennett from Secret Chief doesn't typically book outside of OC bands to play like at the Constellation Room, and I guess he caught wind of them or something, brought them in, and their set. I remember just sitting there, mouth just wide open after they were tearing, after they hit their last note and being, wow.
Yeah.
I've never felt that way about an indie band at a small venue like that. Just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I know I use that word a lot, but truly unbelievable, this band, especially live.
I just want to give a hug to the lead singer and ask him who hurt him. Who hurt you?
Yeah. No, they're
So much emotion.
Yeah, they're so true. I can relate to every single one of those lyrics, and especially I don't know if it's like a timepiece, like there's like the state I am in my life, but it's a very dark, introspective look on the outside world that it kind of internalizes. Like I put up the lyrics here, and I love this. The first line is, "I'm fed with livestock, green grasses and grain that I bought in a city from another city that I cannot name." Like that's strong,
It is really strong.
I mean,
it's poetic.
It's extremely poetic. This is what's going on in the daily life, whether you like it or not. That's the life you're living in it, and it's just. Oh, and then when he starts yelling and he starts going to when I talk like a liar, it's just. There's just something very human about their music, whether it is the way it's played or the anthemic melody that is reoccurring throughout the entire piece. There's something relatable in it, and it's true human interaction. That's kind of what I get from him.
Dude, and his performance live, I have to go back to him playing live.
Yeah,
his performance live, I just remember looking at him and just seeing raw emotion gushing out of him. Just the way he was playing and just almost literally screaming at that one, what is it, the chorus? Or, yeah, just unbelievable again. Unbelievable.
And a little bit of a Pink Floyd influence, at least I take at the end with the guitarist doing the callbacks on the guitar.
Yeah.
It's a very
Oh,
he's not doing the most, he's not the busiest guitarist, but he's hitting the right note to just take that knife and twist it another realm.
He's playing when it sounds like the stray cats are singing, right?
Yeah,
But the cats are all in tune and they sound wonderful.
Yeah. And it's all, like you said, it's all call and response almost. Like
Yeah.
he's just always on the back end of it and just nails it.
It's also funny. I'm assuming he doesn't sing, but that doesn't stop him to sing in shows. But they don't give him a microphone. But
He'll be yelling just straight up into the rafters, man.
exactly, like on that refrain, we're doing la la da 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 da. The whole band is singing. They're singing in perfect harmony. He is screaming at the top of his lungs, just playing the guitar. And
I remember that, yeah.
It's quite.
Yeah, there's a
something to be
YouTube
seen.
video. You should if
Yeah.
you're
I'm gonna watch it.
yeah,
I need
check
to
it
go
out,
watch that.
and you can see exactly what we're talking about. Every time there's kind of like a multiple person chant or melody line, he's just yelling his heart out, but he has no microphone, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah. This album is actually still pretty new. I think it came out in the last week or two. What is it called?
Week or two?
Oh, sorry,
Week or-
month or two. I apologize. The Sun As It Comes, I believe, is what the name of the album is, and the title or the first
Month or two, you think so?
maybe longer.
Yeah, I think it's.
We can fact check that. We all know me. I just kind of spew, and then you guys correct me afterwards. The entire piece is very, very well put together. They have this very distinct sound. It's a little westerny, dark, and they do play on these reoccurring melodies and harmonies throughout the album that really just capture just a lot of emotion. Really, really, really great, strong stuff.
Absolutely.
Are you fact checking me right now? Am I good?
Yeah. Actually, I was.
Okay.
Let's see. So, The Sun As It Comes came out in April.
April.
So not
It's been a
not
So
a month ago.
We'll say about 6 months ago. About there.
but fairly recent.
Yeah. They've been doing. I think they've been on 2, maybe 3 tours since that release, and as far as I know, they've been doing really well. Haven't seen them in Orange County in a while, but if you get the opportunity, sit down, listen to them,
Yeah.
learn something, reflect.
Yeah. Support them, buy their music. I mean,
Yep.
it's definitely worth your money.
Yep, that is for sure. We got one more clip here to do of them. This song is called Banks and Ballrooms. Here we go.
And it's the strangest thing. The few, the small, the judge and jury. The richest men carry the country straight to its grave. Now we've been wrong and we've been had. Another day here in the promised land. We've been wrong and we've been had. Another day.
Oh, man.
My goodness, I love the sound of that guitar right there.
Yep, yep. Such a big sound. Really, really talented musicians.
Yeah.
Check them out. Buy their music. Support them. Do the same with Flying Sparks. Hope you enjoyed our Discovery segment today.
Yep.
All right, let's move on.
What is the next segment? Oh,
You're introducing our book club.
Everybody, book club party, book club, everybody, book club day and night, book club's really tight.
All right. We let you guys know last week that we're going to be doing Kings of Leon Mechanical Bull this week. So you had one whole week to listen to it, come up with your opinion, and we did the same. So that's it. That's our book club. Moving on.
and next week's book club will be.
I think, I kind of procrastinated and listened to it, I think, twice today. But I enjoyed both listen throughs. It was really good. Lots of very Kings of Leon sounding tracks and lots of other I don't want to say experimental, but genre differentiated, I guess, tracks.
Yeah, they kind of went outside the boundary of Kings of Leon on this one, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid album.
Yeah. No.
You know, I don't know if I'm going to be listening to it 5 years from now, but I mean, the songs were good though. They were solid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I didn't thoroughly enjoy it.
Okay.
I liked it. I
think I'm around where you are actually.
There were like you said, there's some strong songs. But on the whole, I think a lot of recycled ideas. That's what I say. And I like it when bands go out of their comfort zone and make an album to make an album. Like, hey, let's do something new and exciting. And they did. I think they did do that. But on the whole, little underwhelming. I'll say that.
I'd have to disagree a little bit. I mean, I think maybe it's kind of a bad thing on their part, but they definitely kind of I think appeal to the people who want Kings of Leon and then the people who want them to
sound a certain
turn
way.
into something else or kind of progress like we talked about with Nine Inch Nails. They were it was dead on. So there were songs that were not Kings of Leon, definitely Kings of Leon, but then they definitely kind of dabbled in all these different genres. I mean, there was a country track almost in there.
Yeah, that kind of like blues track as well.
And there was a blues track, and
Family Tree, I believe that song was called.
Yeah.
But I think overall it was really well done, very well recorded. I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe not the whole album, but I think I will be listening to one or two songs regularly.
Yeah. I guess my attitude comes from they made a dramatic change when Only by the Night came out. Dramatic change. And to me, when they made that change, that was the pinnacle of this new sound that they're going for.
This polished sound.
Very, very
well-produced
polished. Yep.
sound, yeah.
Something that is new, kind of exciting, and still very uniquely Kings of Leon. It's a complete departure from what they did in Aha, Shake, Heartbreak, which is a really great album.
Yeah, they had that they're from Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that Nashville, Tennessee garage band
so
rock
good,
sound.
so
Yeah, that was
good.
cool.
But when Only by the Night came out, I always wondered how they're going to top that. Then they released Come Around Sundown. And I don't know what happened, if whether their hearts were out of it or whatever the case. I only speculate. I don't know the story behind it. But from my perspective, it was basically a opening to close replica of Only by the Night, just different keys and different songs.
I've heard that
Same
before,
songs were done, and it was very repetitive. And to me, it fell short again. and then I guess they fell off the map for a bit after coming
Well,
around.
didn't they go on some sort of hiatus
a pretty long hiatus.
the lead
yeah.
singer had to address some personal issues?
Yeah.
He had. They talk about it in I think maybe 2 issues ago of Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Talking about how he had a serious issue, and the rest of the band nearly demanded him to go to rehab.
Yep.
Wow.
For various. I mean, it was drugs, alcohol, whatever you could put in your body. He was doing it.
Yep. I mean,
Well-
they. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
But they've been known around. Sorry, I'll take it. All right. they've been known for being some of the hardest partiers around the rock.
Oh, yeah?
yeah, like just cocaine out of fire hose type of thing.
Oh my goodness. All right, who wants some?
I think it was. I can't remember. We're gonna have to fact check it. But there was multiple instances of the lead singer jumping off their yacht or a yacht into the ocean and breaking something or hurting himself pretty severely
Into the ocean?
multiple times.
It must have been a pretty tall yacht.
Yeah, who knows? They've got the money for it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was I gonna say?
We were talking about Come Around Sundown. And,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess as much of a, it wasn't a disappointment, but it wasn't a great album. Come Around Sundown. But I am glad that he addressed his issues and came out. I mean, with a solid record, in my opinion.
yeah.
It's definitely a step up, in my opinion.
Right. That was going to be my overarching point here.
Okay.
I was here, and I wanted to do this.
Okay.
But my overarching point was they definitely redefined themselves again, I feel, from Come Around Sundown. I feel that was just let's make another album and make some money. This seems like they actually put some more effort into it. There was a little bit more heart in this record, which I did like that about it. But maybe I'm just an overcritical fan who wants greatness every single time. You know, maybe
is that
that's
too
me.
much to ask
I know.
for?
I just want something fantastic. Highlights for me were Family Tree, as we discussed, and track 2 and 3. They really utilized the guitar solo, which is not a Kings of Leon staple.
Yeah.
And every time they do it, I'm just woo.
Yeah,
I'm happy about that.
Those 2 tracks also had killer guitar tones. They had almost like a Black Keys sounding guitar.
Yeah.
It was really rough and distorted.
Yeah, it was really underground sounding.
Yeah.
But now we all know that underground is kind of that sound, that indie sound is kind of becoming mainstream.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's very common.
It's that reason that I feel like they nodded a little bit at the Aha Shake Heartbreak days.
Okay.
And which is something that I think that they needed to do to not just recreate the same album again and again under whatever producer did it.
By the way, those 2 tracks that Ben just mentioned are number 2, Rock City, and number 3, Don't Matter. Two of the better tracks in my opinion as well.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. Overall, I would give this album, Kings of Leon, Mechanical Bull, a 3 stars out of 5.
Oh, we're doing it out of 5?
I'm doing out of 5.
Okay.
Why don't we do it out of 10?
Want to do out of 10?
Yeah, I
I
wanna
like
do it out
10.
of 10.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
then I'm going to go 6 stars out of 10.
I'll give it a 7.5.
I was gonna go 7, but that's just like 6, 7.5, 7.
It's like The Price is Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, hey, it was a good album, not great. Nothing too fantastical. Right?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Says 0.5 of a point.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is a solid listen, though. I would recommend it.
I don't know whether to give them an applause or a boo, but they're over half, so I think that they deserve a.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it'd be more like a golf clap. It'd be like.
I don't know if this is going to sound like a clap.
There'd be 8 people in a cafeteria. It'd be really echoey, you know? It'd be like clap, 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 clap. That's what it
Just sounds super sarcastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Exactly. Cool. That is our...
That concludes Book Club.
Book Club. Next week, guys, we are going to be listening to Lord... what's the name of the album again?
Pure cocaine?
Heroin.
Pure heroin. It's
Pure
some
heroin.
sort of hard
Yeah,
drug.
it's pure
Yeah,
heroin.
yeah.
We're gonna try to review new albums, and this one came out. We checked up on iTunes the 27th of September.
Some relatively new, yeah.
So relatively new. We're all pretty interested in what Lord has to give.
Yeah, have you guys heard
16-year-old genius.
16-year-old genius? Well, I mean, does she write her own songs?
I don't know. That's what I want
I
to
like
know.
I like to think so.
I would hope so.
I mean,
She sure can sing.
Yeah.
What,
true.
what kind of record company is going to release? Is going to write that song that she has on the radio right now? Royals. You know, I think that's a very individual created piece.
You know what? Let's do some research and figure that out.
We will.
because
We will.
that'll
Have
be
you guys
interesting.
heard any of the other songs by chance?
No, not at all.
Not a
one.
thing?
No,
Okay,
this
yeah.
is completely blind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same with me.
So next week, Royals. I'm sorry,
Lord.
Pure Heroin is what we'll be doing when we listen to the album Pure Heroin.
Just to get into the mood, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
We recommend you do as well. Now we're going on to a little segment that we like to call
Tech Time.
Woo woo!
All right, so today I'm just going to do a little abbreviated tech time to elaborate, I suppose, on last week. I was given a little bit of a hard time from people because they said that I was interchanging sampling rate with bit rate, which is absolutely not the case. Sampling rate really has more to do with the timbre of a certain tone and the frequency response, whereas bit
Completely
rate...
lost me, man.
Yeah,
You
what?
Completely lost me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you did.
Already?
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
yeah.
Finish your thought.
Okay, so sampling rate, as it applies to a digital file, has to do with its frequency response and its timbre and how accurate it is. So the higher the sampling rate, the more true to analog sound it is, I suppose.
True to analog.
Yeah, so it's more.
So it doesn't mean it's more HD.
Well, I mean, it really is the difference between, like, if you're talking about video, 480, which is standard definition versus like 4K, which is like super high definition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just
Okay.
clearer, and you hear things like they should be, sort of.
Okay.
Is it like you know when HD TV came out and like people would be watching football games or something, and then all of a sudden HD came out and you could see the players sweating and you could see
Yeah.
wrinkles like
Well, that's
on
exactly
the
right.
faces and stuff.
Because if you think about back to the days of like primitive analog tape, you wouldn't be able to hear like the very high harmonics of a guitar or like kind of like that really airiness in a vocal. Everything almost seemed slightly muted, but it was warm because there was no harsh high end. People criticize digital for being harsh because it has it represents all frequencies pretty equally. So you get a lot of high end, and that's not what people are used to, and so it has a bad rap as being harsh. Anyway, it's getting away what I want to talk about. So now we know that sampling rate has more to do with timbre and frequency response and I guess quality in general, whereas bit rate, or the word length of the bit, the sequence of bits, has everything to do with dynamic range. So from very, very soft to as loud as it can get before clipping. And that's all I wanted to point out.
So you're just clearing that up for us.
That's it. That's tech time. 'Cause I just wanted to get that out there because people were saying that I was misrepresenting.
I was having a hard time sleeping. I'm really happy you cleared
Yeah,
that up.
Okay.
yeah,
for me.
man.
Yeah.
That was just
Yeah.
killing me this past week.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys.
I feel much
No.
better about that.
But if you were as confused as Ben and I were, we suggest you go back to our week 1 podcast.
right.
You can find that online.
And we're just talking about vinyl and digital files and things.
Yeah.
And things and stuff.
Let's see. So
Things.
where can they watch those video or that video?
You can go to YouTube and just type in Unearth Music Hub and go to our channel, and you'll see Ground Sound episode 1. Or you can go to www.unearthmusichub.com and click on the podcast link.
Woo woo. All right.
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, we are on to the next segment, and this is a new segment for the week, so we didn't have time to make a jingle for it.
Right.
There will be a jingle, though.
There will be a jingle.
There will be a jingle.
If you have suggestions for jingles, please send it over to our email at
A podcast at unearthmusichub.com. Have to
or-
think about that one.
Yeah.
or leave a comment in the page. We already have an idea where we're going with it. You've heard our jingles. They're the best things known to human creation.
Yeah.
It's true.
We've
So-
won countless awards.
Right. No
World renowned.
Yeah, no one's actually said that
All
to
right,
my face.
yeah.
But let us know.
Yeah.
We'll make it based on that. But
Okay, on to the segment. This segment is called Debate Team. This segment is going to be where we bring up a topic, and we're going to try to argue both sides, and we will let you, the listeners, decide on which opinion wins.
Yep.
Let's see. The topic for today's debate team is, do the songs on Billboard Top 10 in their rock category, do they actually classify as rock music? Ben, I'll let you take this one.
okay, all right. I have it open up. I suggest anybody else. Maybe we'll post an image of it.
Well, we can list off. We
Yeah.
can list off some of the songs on there right now.
Well, number one is Royals by Lord.
Right.
Yep.
She's technically considered rock. Although she's pretty, I mean, I think her style is really impressive because you will hear that song on almost every radio station except for jazz.
Yep.
It's on the hit radio stations. It's on rock radio stations.
It's even
indie.
on like classical music.
Yeah.
No.
No.
You're kind of getting ahead of me because I think that a lot of this music that we'll be looking at today is not necessarily genre specific. Therefore, you will hear it on all these different radio stations that specialize in quote unquote rock, pop music, this and that.
Yeah.
He's doing air quotes, by the way, if you can't see.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just
Giant
two
air
little bunnies
quotes.
bopping along. But I'm gonna. It all the reason this came up. It started from this notation. K-Rock, which is one of the most noted as one of the biggest and best rock stations here in Orange County and LA area. I grew up listening to it. It's staples. It just would throw on Nirvana, Bad Religion, or Social Distortion when they didn't know what else to play for the day, and they'd meet their quota of 300 times in an hour. They were playing rock music.
Yeah.
Now you listen to it, and there's the lack of distortion on guitars or real instruments is palpable. And instead of hearing the things that in my head classify as rock and roll, rock music, what it means to be rock, is somehow getting lost. Why it shouldn't be called K-Rock anymore? It should be called K-pop or
K-pop.
K-pop.
Where they actually don't play K-pop.
Right. But genres are coming up, replacing the rock genre, like indie, like folk music is now a classifiably coined rock genre. Mumford and Sons is rock.
Of Monsters and Men.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is on here. Capital Cities, Imagine Dragons,
AWOL Nation. I do believe that there can be an argument placed for them. However, they are also, you can hear the stuff on Kiss FM, which is the pop station in the area for those of you who are not local. Imagine Dragons, the same thing. And just going down the list here, Paramore's on it. I think that they're rock in a big way.
Rock pop.
I listened to this song, Gone Gone. Let Her Go by Passenger. That is a straight up singer-songwriter folk song. And I guess my point is there's no big rock players anymore. I think the Foo Fighters, I'll retract that. The Queens of the Stone Age released probably the most recent rock album that is in its truest, purest form, recently rock. I can, I probably have a list of them somewhere else, but right now on the top of my head, I'm going to say that. And what you see here in this Billboard 500, what you hear on K-Rock and so on and so forth, is just being used as the production companies and the bands are pushing these bands and this sound to fit roles that don't just classify in the small rock sense. So what's the point there? Music in a whole seems to just be deteriorating into one cohesive sound. That what does rock mean anymore in the realm? What does this mean? And it's not how I define it, it's how society defines it. So therefore, the Billboard Rock top 100 that we're looking at here, that defines what the majority of Western culture sees as rock music. And my argument is, I completely disagree with it. This shouldn't be what is the definition of rock. And, for instance, who knew that some classic band just released an album? Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam just released an album. Nobody knows about that album. It was released, but that's a rock classic. That's my point. I'm gonna jump off my pedestal for a second so someone else can take the reins here.
But listen, I think there's an evolution of rock that we have to consider.
Absolutely,
if we look at the influence of rock, and at what point did we define the music that came out of like blues and bluegrass and all that, and at what point did it become rock?
Sure.
And then we have to consider evolution of any genre.
Yeah, and then you look at rock, and then it kind of moving to alternative rock, and I think that's actually where rock is today. I would classify the majority of the songs that we listed off of the Billboard charts as alternative rock. And I mean, it might not be true to the, the rock definition that we're used to with the big distorted guitars and, but I mean, like in rock and roll, it was all about pushing boundaries, right?
Right.
And I feel like that's what a lot of these artists are doing now is they're taking that old rock formula and adding something more to it. Granted, it's it seems to be overplayed nowadays, and everyone seems to be jumping on the same train.
Right.
But I think that was like the feeling of rock back when it was new. It was something different, something just going out there.
Yep.
But I think the biggest trend we're seeing also is like hybrid music. We're seeing rock, electronica, rock, folk, rock, Americana, rock, you name it. There's rock. There's some sort of hybrid of that being played and being marketed as rock.
Right.
Even though if you really break it down, it's more of that other genre than it is rock.
Yeah.
Well, I think in that case, it's easier to put it in the rock category rather than, for instance, the EDM category.
No, right.
Like there's no way you'd be able to throw a song like Imagine Dragons Radioactive into like some sort of electronic category because I don't know.
Right.
But
It wouldn't work in my mind.
That's one of those songs that like you feel like it's rock, but literally the instrumentation is not there for rock, but it feels like rock.
Yeah. My argument also just kind of proceeds into, and I hate to, if this is too much of a striation, I apologize, but into the underground realm. Look at a band like Kiev. Now, this is a group we talked about last week. I don't see a place for them in today's rock scene. I don't. I hope that I'm proven wrong.
Yeah, you're probably exactly right. Yeah.
And they'll find their way on it. But they are a group of musicians who are playing real instruments and making big, new, edgy sounds. Because this is the definition of what rock is, and I'm going back to this, there isn't a place for rock music to grow because it's being defined by what we see here in the Billboard Top 100, which is all maybe there's three different types of music on here.
Yeah.
That's my
Well, and we're seeing a lot. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of crossover
Yeah.
going back to the whole,
Yeah.
multi-genre type thing where
Yeah.
one like a band like Lord can be played on multiple radio stations that have nothing to do with each other. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
But I think that's the next thing is how do I appeal to everybody, not how do I appeal to rock fans.
Right, exactly. They're just going after the single, which is the new way that music is being sold and commoditized these days. The single and play big ass events. Oh, pardon my language. Big shows, and that's where the money is. So if you can get the quote unquote rock heads, the pop kids, and the Justin Bieber fans all in one room, then there you go. You got yourself a huge audience.
I don't know. Part of me thinks that, combining these genres was still, I guess we're in the aftermath of like that shock effect, that initial, I can't off the top of my head, recall when this first started coming out, but when it did, which was fairly recently in my memory at least, it was, something new, something exciting, something that people got all riled about and like, wow, this is cool. I'm getting, there's hard rock here. And then they just go into this like strictly electronic chorus or something like that,
Yeah.
And I think, the
Like
music,
Summertime Sadness does that. It's very folky and goes into electronic.
yeah, I mean, I think part of me wants to say that the music industry is not trying to capitalize on just, hey, how many people, how many genres can we fit into this one song kind of thing.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
like to think that, they're still thinking that they're trying to be experimental and trying to put things together that wouldn't have fit together maybe 10, 15 years ago.
I think we're really headed in the direction of a post-genre kind of music society.
Yeah.
Because everything, I mean, you don't meet someone who just, listen, I'm just a rock guy. That's all I listen to. I don't listen to anything.
Right,
right. Yeah.
Even if it's classical music or jazz, everybody listens, for the most part, listens to more than one genre of music, and that influence them to write things that aren't so much one specific just genre.
Right.
I think we're headed there in really quickly, a time that there is no genre. It's just, that's music. And that'll be interesting for Billboard to try to categorize that.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing that's kind of interesting on Billboard, not only are there's so many new categories that I think I used to look at this thing like 2 years ago pretty regularly. There's now like top streaming. You know, so we talked about Spotify last episode, and you know they're now taking that into consideration too. And the charts are fairly consistent all the way down, but it's just there's so much more going into everything.
Yeah.
I agree with you. There's a more push to, I don't know, de-genreify what is out there, or rather maybe create a new sounding one. All I know is that when we look at the subcategories of music, there seems to be less and less of options for me.
Yeah, it seems like we're running out of genres.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's how you create new genres, right? Is you start experimenting, you see what goes together, what becomes popular, and then you take it from there.
Yeah. All right, guys, we got to move on. We
Yeah.
spent a little time on that. We debated a little bit.
We did.
At the end of the day, I think I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
It's just
Yeah. It's these are two realities, and that's those are two ways to look at it.
And if you guys out there have any opinions or inputs, please comment or email us or anything.
If you don't care, comment. You know,
Yeah.
who gives a crap?
If anyone else is alive outside of this room, please comment.
Yeah, we just waiting here at the computer screen until someone
Yep.
comments on something.
All right, on to the next segment.
All right.
this is we call Love It or Hate It.
Yay!
Boo! Ew! Love it or hate it. All right,
Oh,
I got cut off by the baby. All right, this was my week for Love It or Hate It. I haven't told the other two what artist I picked.
I have no
so
idea.
I am just going to let them play my little mashup track that I created this morning.
no
and
argument before that. You're just gonna go straight into it.
I'm just straight into it.
Okay.
Okay. This is Derek's Love It or Hate It.
Sherry baby, Sherry baby. I love you, baby. Mine's a torture. Oh, I never laid a hand on you. Mine's a torture. Peace is the word. It's got a groove, it's got a meaning.
Oh, it's so good.
So I guess I don't even have to
There's
make
no
my
argument.
argument, huh?
That's good. That's good music, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, okay.
You wanna describe
I
it?
want to hear a argument or
I
two
don't.
for it.
Okay, I just
wanna
don't
hear a few.
meet a lot of people out there that like, hey, I love Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Oh, you do? I do too. I don't get that a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
And,
That's something. I mean, you got to listen to the oldies channel to get that. But
Yeah.
every time any one of those songs come on, dude, I sing my heart out on the
Yeah,
freeway.
Absolutely.
all right, so the songs that I picked, they range from I believe 1962 to 1975 roughly. So I tried to pick a song from each, every several years or so, one of their singles.
Nice.
But yeah, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, one of the, I feel like one of those just, their sound evolved as the times changed, but they still kept true to their sound.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They
it's
evolved gracefully.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they evolved very gracefully. One little tidbit that I want to point out that I did not know up until recently was they are the only band to have a #1 single before, during, and after the Beatles' reign of #1 singles.
Wow.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really impressive.
That is,
Only
that,
band,
yeah,
yeah.
that is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
The more you know.
but it seems like I don't need to make much of an
No,
argument.
I mean,
thought
we're
it-
so-
no.
I thought it'd be a little, I mean, I feel like some people perceive that kind of music as super cheesy nowadays,
Yeah.
and
You
Not
have
at
you
all.
have no taste if you
No.
hate it. You
Okay.
have no taste. I think we just for consistency's sake, Josh, what's your verdict?
Love it. And Ben?
I freaking love it.
Standing ovation.
All right.
Cool.
I'll try to pick a better one next time. Next time it's my turn.
A worse one, maybe.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We gotta get some. We gotta get some confrontation up in here.
I know.
We're all
We need to
too-
stop agreeing with
Yeah,
each other.
exactly.
Oh boy!
Okay.
Well, last week was shaky, I think, with
Yeah.
the love it or hate it. Anyway, so the next segment we're gonna do is gonna be a weekly thing where we kind of give you a review of the top 10 songs as defined by Billboard magazine, and this is something they take in account to downloads, streaming on YouTube, various different avenues of music consumption, and this is what they came up with. The difference between this week and last week is one song.
So the chart changes considerably from week to week.
Yeah,
right?
I mean the positions change, but really the top 10 don't vary very much.
These are not in ascending order, right?
No, they're in random order.
Okay.
So
Here we go. Here's the top 10 for this week.
Wish that I could stay forever this young.
It's amazing I'm in this good girl and you know it. Good girls.
Gold teeth, gray goose dripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room.
Yeah. I
Cool.
hope you enjoyed that.
So I think there's only one song that was
That
added
was
to the list, right?
And it was Fox by...
Oh, yeah. People, what the Fox say is on the Billboard top 10.
Hey, we have a little bit of time to talk about this,
just-
right?
We do.
Yeah, we have 1 minute to talk about
All
it.
right. What the
Let's talk about
heck
this for a
is going
second.
on?
This was, I think, and I could be wrong, was exclusively a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they released it on iTunes, and it blew up. They have like 69 million views on YouTube.
69 million.
My
Yeah.
goodness.
69 million.
You know, it's one of those songs that was specifically made for.
69. 69 million.
Yeah, but okay. The fact that it's garnered so much attention on YouTube is not surprising to me. I
Yeah.
mean, look at Psy's Gangnam Style.
Style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
mean, you look at songs like that and you say, okay, it's got a place on YouTube, but on
Yeah.
Billboard,
Yeah.
geez.
I think people think they kind of approach it more as a joke or anything. And if you're not familiar with it, it's the one that was ding 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 ding
Yeah.
ding that we played on the mashup.
the Fox by Elvis.
It's
Yeah,
not real music by
Elvis.
any means.
No, it was written specifically
Yeah,
for
it's like a parody.
YouTube. Yeah. Yeah.
Of-
It's
I don't know
ridiculous.
what,
It's
but-
ridiculous. I have a whole rant to go on. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Just come on,
Yeah.
people.
Maybe next
Get
week
with
we're
it.
having a rant.
Get with it.
If you haven't seen it, go to
God.
YouTube and add to the YouTube count.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's what the world needs right now.
Yes, more foxes.
Yeah. Well, I think we finished our second
Yeah,
podcast.
that
Yeah.
wraps up this week's episode.
Oh, thank you. Come on.
You're too kind. You're
I
too
know.
kind.
Sending it through the
If you have any
airwaves.
comments or questions or suggestions, you can drop us a line at podcast@unearthmusichub.com or comment in the comment section below in the YouTube video. Or if you're listening, go to our website unearthmusichub.com, click on the podcast tab, and there's a comment section there as well. So you have multiple places to talk to us, and please do.
Yep. To review, the Ground Sound is an extension of the Unearthed Music Hub, which is why when you type into Google, I don't know if you can find the Ground Sound.
Probably not yet.
But we'll get to it. We'll get to it. In any case, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next week.
Love you guys.
What?